stay cool.
Hi, I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope. Today is the 2nd of January 2025. This is the first episode for the year. And amazing. Amazing to be in 2025. I always think every time a new year, I always reflect on the year past, and it always amazes me now just how fast time seems to go by. Look, there was a couple of articles that came out at the very end of 2024 that I wanted to talk about, but I really wanted to have a decent break before getting into things this year. But this article here, it's I- it just amazes me how our governments, no matter who it is, no matter what party it is, they are such hypocrites, such hypocrites. So what happened? The Victorian Labor government, Victorian Labor social media decided that they would put up a post attacking Peter Dutton and his wife. I'll bring up a picture of it, but the picture says he is not a monster. So Anthony, the post in question, which was put up by the Labor Party, features a 2019 newspaper photo of Mrs. Dutton, who said of her husband in a doctored headline, "It is not a monster." And then the caption, obviously, as you can see, it's captioned, "We all know that one couple justifying dating your new partner to friends who don't like him." So let's check out this headline here from a few years ago, 2021. New laws introduced to protect people from extreme online abuse trolls. Here we have Julie Inman Grant, the gatekeeper that we all have here in Australia, the Commissioner for the eSafety. So Australians subjected to vile online abuse and harassment will have greater protections from trolls if new powers pass the federal parliament this evening. So apparently people accused of posting and sharing the threatening material will face fines of up to 110,000 if they refuse to remove the content, and 500,000 for companies like Facebook and Twitter. It goes on to say that the way that online harassment, gendered violence really manifests towards women is very different than in that directed towards men. This is what eSafety Commissioner Julie Inman Grant had said. Isn't it funny how that's all good, when you're chasing down these online trolls, and especially if it's men who are making comments about women, but if it's an Australian government, if it's the Australian Labor Party or probably the Liberal Party, then what happens then? What happens to the person who decided to put this post up? Isn't that an online troll? Aren't you attacking a female? How come the Australian government? How come a state government can get in and say whatever they want, but there's no ramifications other than Elbow demanding that they pull it down? And shouldn't Julie Inman Grant, shouldn't she now be investigating them and asking who made the decision, who took it upon themselves to put this post up, who made the decision to put the post up? Shouldn't they be facing fines? Shouldn't they be shouldn't they be facing court action? Isn't that what should be happening? I love it the way there's one rule for everyone else, but if it's the Australian government, no matter which party, if it's an Australian government that are making that are doing the trolling, then it's all good. Then they just get a little slap on the knuckles from the Prime Minister and get told to take it down, and there's nothing else that happens. Yeah, and the Australian Labor Party, who hold themselves up to be the protectors for women, the protectors against online abuse, except if they're the ones perpetrating the abuse, except if they are the ones who are the bullies. I just want to bring your attention to, in this article, it talks about these new powers that Julie Inman Grant, the eSafety Commissioner, is going to have. It says that Communications Minister Paul Fletcher at that time said the laws would be a world first, and noted the eSafety Commissioner would be given extra powers to block websites and apps during crisis events. So blocking websites and apps during crisis events. My main issue when I was looking at this article, thinking, well, look what they're saying about Peter Dutton's wife. It's a stupid comment to make. It's a bit juvenile. and they should be held accountable for it. But obviously, we don't have the leadership in Australia for anyone to really be held accountable. But when I was reading back over this article and looking at the laws, the powers that the eSafety Commissioner does have, this ability to block websites and apps during crisis events. And this is the problem. What is the real motive behind these new laws that we have? What is the real motive behind the eSafety Commission? What's the real point of it? Is it actually to protect people? Is it actually to protect women from online abuse, from being trolled online? Is that really what it's all about? Or is it just about monitoring its citizens? Because if they were really serious about it, well, then they would be cracking down on the Victorian Labor Party and holding someone accountable properly, holding someone legally accountable for their decision to put up that post. But it's not about protecting people. It's not about protecting Australian citizens. It's about monitoring Australian citizens. That's all it's about. It's about monitoring, and it's about restricting what they think is online abuse or anything that they feel is inappropriate. They're the gatekeepers. They decide what's inappropriate. But hey, if an Australian political party puts up posts that would be deemed inappropriate or trolling, well, hey, that's Australian politics. That doesn't matter. Unfortunately, Australia has very poor leadership, whether it's in federal or state governments at the moment, including Queensland. And we've given way too much power to bureaucrats like Julie Inman Grant and this eSafety Commission, where they are the gatekeepers. They decide, hey, this is inappropriate, so we will now block websites and block apps during what they call a crisis event. But it's all up to them. It's all up to them and their opinion. No one else. They're the ones that decide what's inappropriate. So like I said, is this really about protecting Australians, or is it just about monitoring Australians and they decide what's appropriate and what's not? But hey, if it's an Australian political party making the comments, well then, they can say whatever they want. Anyway, this is just my opinion. You let me know what you think. I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
And say it isn't real, and please don't go away. Just give me one more day. What if I could turn back time? I'd make you smile again. And if I could unbreak your heart, and we could start again. What if I could turn back time? I'd make you smile again. And if I could unbreak your heart, and we could start again. We could start again. We could start again. We could start again.